Stop scrolling because the timeline just witnessed another public blow-up so loud it didn't just turn heads, it turned necks, chairs, and probably a few Wi-Fi routers. Viral clips and witness chatter suggest Blueface and Chrisean got into a heated public argument that left bystanders frozen, phones up, and the internet foaming at the algorithmic mouth. This wasn't a polite disagreement. This wasn't "let's discuss." This was tension with surround sound. The kind of moment where strangers suddenly become documentary filmmakers and everyone within 30 feet develops instant investigative journalism skills. 1 minute it's a normal day, next minute boom, relationship drama goes live without a ticket price. And you already know what happens next. Repost pages sprint, bloggers stretch captions like yoga instructors, and reaction channels kick doors open yelling, breaking. The crowd reaction alone looked like they accidentally walked into a season finale instead of a regular afternoon. Some viewers say it was overdue pressure finally popping. Others say context is missing and clips lie louder than people. Either way, the noise didn't just travel, it multiplied. And when this duo trends, calm takes a vacation. Stay locked in because this story doesn't simmer. It detonates. The spark for this whole public argument moment didn't appear out of thin air. It showed up carrying luggage, history, and a VIP pass to the Drama Hall of Fame. Because when it comes to Blueface and Chrisean, the internet doesn't treat incidents like random events, it treats them like episodes in a long-running series with previously aired chaos and a very loyal audience of screenshot collectors. So when clips and crowd chatter started circulating about a heated exchange in public, nobody reacted with surprise, they reacted with familiarity. Not "what is this?" but "what now?" That's when you know a storyline has entered legendary turbulence territory. The first videos that spread were short, shaky, and loud enough to wake up inactive group chats. Filmed from angles that looked like the camera operator was emotionally invested and physically unstable. Half sentences audible, half drowned by background noise, all boosted by captions written like action movie trailers. But clarity has never been required for virality, only intensity. The internet doesn't wait for full footage. It runs with fragments like their championship evidence. If a clip is 3 seconds long, social media will build a 3-hour theory. Repost pages grabbed the footage like it was a limited edition drop. Within minutes it had captions, emojis, red arrows, and dramatic titles that sounded like a meteor hit. All 7. Same clip, 10 headlines, 12 emotional interpretations. Heated exchange turned into public eruption. Argument got upgraded to verbal war. Online wording doesn't report, it performs gymnastics for clicks. Then came the side-picking Olympics. Gold medal speed. No hesitation rounds. Team Blueface. Team Chrisean. Team y'all both wrong. Team we need context. Team I was there, even though they were definitely not there. Opinions formed faster than the video buffered. Nobody said let's wait. Everyone said obviously. And whenever a debate uses obviously on both sides, congratulations, nobody knows anything but everybody feels powerful. Comment sections transformed into digital boxing rings with unlimited rounds and 0 referees. Every reply swung. Every thread escalated. Nobody came to understand, they came to win. Calm voices got buried like reasonable takes at the bottom of a viral pile. Nuance knocked on the door, heard the yelling, and went home. That's the rule of public argument virality. The loudest interpretation travels first class, and right on schedule. The context detectives clocked in. These are the internet's favorite investigators, armed with pause buttons and confidence. They slowed clips down frame by frame like they were decoding alien signals. They analyzed tone, posture, distance between words, eyebrow velocity. Yes, eyebrow velocity. Suddenly everybody was a body language expert with a certification from YouTube University. You can tell by the way he turned. No. You can tell by the way you guessed. Meanwhile, drama creators activated like emergency sirens. Ring lights on, voices up, thumbnails shocked beyond medical limits. Titles screaming exposed, breakdown, you missed this. Apparently, nobody misses anything, yet everything is always missed according to titles. Reaction panels formed instantly, 4 people talking, 5 interruptions, 6 hot takes, 0 agreement. It sounded like a podcast recorded during an argument about recording podcasts. Sarcasm online hit elite performance levels. One viral comment said their public conflicts have more seasons than most streaming shows. Another said the algorithm deserves executive producer credit. Someone wrote, "At this point the crowd isn't surprised they're season ticket holders." Brutal. Catchy. Disturbingly efficient. What made this moment hit harder was the public setting factor. Private conflict feels personal. Public conflict feels theatrical. Once an argument enters open air, spectators become instant judges. Strangers project themselves into the moment like method actors. "If that were me," typed comfortably by people sitting safely at home with snacks and strong opinions. Distance creates courage. Wi-Fi creates boldness. Witness posts started appearing too, or what social media calls witness posts, which range from helpful to wildly creative. "My cousin saw it. My friend heard it. Someone I know recorded the part before." This information traveled through the Whisper network wearing a megaphone. Reliability questionable. Distribution flawless. Then playback culture took over. The same few seconds replayed thousands of times across platforms, each version edited with more drama than the last. Zoom-ins, slow motion, subtitles guessing at words like karaoke for conflict. Add suspense music and suddenly it's a thriller. Trailer. Editing can turn tension into apocalypse if you add enough bass. Old history resurfaced like archived files marked open during next controversy, past arguments, past live streams, past quotes all reintroduced like returning characters. The internet never debates the present without reopening the past. Receipts got reposted, threads got revived, context got stretched like chewing gum. Supporters on each side accused the other of narrative twisting. That phrase showed up everywhere. Narrative twisting, often written by people actively twisting it themselves. Irony remains undefeated. Online, self-awareness remains on vacation. A quieter but important reaction group also grew, the fatigue crowd. These are the viewers saying, "This cycle keeps repeating," and they're not whispering anymore. They're tired of escalation. Theater, tired of relationship conflict becoming spectator sport. When fatigue grows, engagement eventually cracks and platforms fear boredom more than controversy. Still, at this stage, nobody backed down. Not the fan bases, not the commentators, not the headline factories. Positions hardened like concrete in summer heat. Takes got sharper, language got louder. The moment stopped being about what exactly happened and started being about what it represents in their ongoing saga, because once a conflict becomes symbolic instead of situational, it stops being a clip and starts being a chapter. And this is where the situation stopped being a viral clip and upgraded itself into a full-scale internet event, the kind with digital sirens, expert opinions from people who failed, biology, and commentary so dramatic you'd think the footage came with theme music. Because once that public argument moment started circulating, the reaction wave didn't roll in politely, it kicked the door open and rearranged the furniture. Every drama page, reaction channel, and livestream analyst clocked in like this was mandatory overtime. Reaction videos multiplied faster than conspiracy theories after midnight. Everyone had inside perspective, which is impressive considering they were all watching the same recycled footage like it was a limited series. Apparently, if you add a louder intro and widen your eyes in the thumbnail, you unlock secret knowledge. Panels formed instantly, split screens everywhere. Nobody listening, everybody declaring. It sounded like a debate show hosted inside a jet engine. Bigger creator accounts jumped in with breakdown threads longer than rental agreements. Bullet points, timeline charts, emotional translations. Some folks mapped the argument like it was a military campaign. Arrows, sequences, key turning points. My favorite genre PowerPoint energy with zero confirmed data. If confidence could be bottled, these threads could power cities. Then the celebrity-adjacent reactions started floating around, the classic vague posts. You know the style. Some people need peace. Protect your energy. growth is necessary, statements so universal they apply to houseplants and hurricanes. But blog pages connected those dots like puzzle masters on caffeine. If a public figure blinked near the topic, headlines said they responded. Breathing near controversy now counts as commentary. Memes reached championship form in this phase. Not light jokes, full cinematic roasting. Fake referee scorecards. Rating the round. Sports announcer voiceovers added to clips. Dramatic bell dings. One meme said this relationship drama has more rematches than a boxing trilogy nobody scheduled. Another said the algorithm needs emotional hazard pay. Savage creativity. Questionable empathy. Extremely viral. Next came the interpretation wars. Multiple versions of reality fighting for screen time. Audio truthers said tone proved everything. Gesture analysts said body language told the real story. Distance between words experts appeared. Yes, that's a thing now apparently. Social media turned into a science fair where every project wins first place and none are peer-reviewed. If guessing were taxable, we'd eliminate national debt. Outrage. Culture showed up wearing a megaphone and running shoes. One side framed the moment as unacceptable public behavior. Another side framed it as selective clip manipulation. Both sides used the phrase "clear as day," which is fascinating because they were describing opposite conclusions. When two arguments are both clear, somebody wearing emotional sunglasses, fan bases mobilized like playoff crowds. Defensive threads appeared instantly. Essays, screenshots, stitched clips, archived quotes. Digital loyalty declarations everywhere. It looked like campaign season but with worse slogans. Neutrality was treated like betrayal. If you didn't pick a side fast enough, both sides assumed you picked the other one. Online politics moves faster than real politics and makes less sense. Pop culture comparisons started flying like loose chairs in a reunion episode. Commentators compared the chaos level to reality show finales, award show backstage fights, and courtroom documentaries. One creator joked this saga has more plot twists than a spy movie written by people who don't trust each other. Another said emotional whiplash from these headlines should qualify viewers for neck braces. Harsh, but the engagement numbers laughed. Media pages escalated their headline spice levels to maximum. Because when 20 outlets post the same story, only the loudest wording wins the click war. Erupts, detonates, goes nuclear. At this point, if someone coughs aggressively, a blog will call it an emotional explosion. Subtlety is unemployed in viral newsrooms. Livestream debates turned into verbal traffic jams. Hosts tried moderating. Guests ignored gravity. Chat sections delivered verdicts faster than judges. Super chats poured in, which made takes louder because money adds confidence seasoning. Nothing strengthens an opinion like a highlighted message and applause emojis. Then a second wave conversation quietly started trending the meta debate. Not about who yelled but about why public relationship conflict keeps becoming spectator sport. Why escalation earns views while resolution earns yawns. Why calm explanations get buried under dramatic edits. That discussion didn't scream, it spoke, which is why fewer people heard it. Reflection doesn't compete well with fireworks. Some smarter commentators pivoted into reaction-to-reaction analysis mode. They broke down clip culture, outrage loops, algorithm incentives, and emotional monetization. They treated the moment like a media case study instead of a wrestling match. Smaller audience, stronger thinking. Less viral, more valuable. But of course, thoughtful content travels by bicycle while outrage travels by rocket. Still, the noise side remained louder. Because platforms reward intensity like casinos reward flashing lights. Balanced takes walk. Explosive takes teleport. The algorithm doesn't ask who's careful, it asks who keeps people watching 3 more seconds. And right when the volume felt maxed out, two things started happening at the same time: escalation and exhaustion. One group leaned in harder, refreshing feeds like traders watching markets. Another group leaned back saying, "Not this again." That split matters. That's how audience behavior starts changing. One side fuels the fire, the other stops bringing wood, which sets the stage for the most dangerous phase of any viral conflict: not the moment, not the reaction, but the aftermath. Now here's the phase the internet treats like the end credits, even though it's actually the part that decides everything: the fallout. Not the yelling, not the memes, not the slow motion replays with dramatic music. The consequence layer. Because after the clips stop trending and the live stream panels finally run out of oxygen, real-world effects start stacking quietly like sealed envelopes. Viral noise is flashy, reputation impact is silent, and silence is where the real scorecards get updated. Public perception started shifting in real time like a stock chart during panic trading. Right after the argument clips spread, opinions were explosive and instant. But as hours passed, takes started mutating. Some viewers leaned towards sympathy for Chrisean, saying public confrontations carry extra humiliation weight. Others leaned toward Blueface, arguing that chopped footage can twist reality like a funhouse mirror. And then there's the fastest growing group, the fatigue crowd, saying they're tired of the entire saga and emotionally clocking out. When the audience moves from shocked to exhausted, that's not a trend, that's a warning light, because repeated public conflict builds what I call narrative gravity. Once a storyline gets labeled volatile, every future moment gets judged through that filter. Calm posts look suspicious. Neutral statements look strategic. Even silence looks like a chess move. The benefit of the doubt packs its bags and moves to another zip code. That's the hidden tax of repeated drama. Credibility inflation hits hard. Brand optics quietly enter the room during this phase too. No dramatic announcements. No press releases with thunder sound effects. Just cautious distance and slow replies behind closed doors. Collaboration conversations get softer. Marketing enthusiasm gets replaced with "we'll circle back." Companies don't like unpredictability, and public emotional explosions look like unpredictability wearing fireworks. Even if nothing gets cancelled, hesitation alone can shrink opportunity. Inner circle relationships also feel pressure waves. Friends, collaborators, affiliates, everyone nearby gets pulled into the gravity field. Speak up and risk backlash. Stay silent and risk suspicion. Neutrality online is treated like betrayal with better grammar. Loyalty tests appear everywhere and nobody agrees on the rules. It's social politics judged by people eating snacks. Media pages that went hardest early start adjusting their wording right about now. Watch the vocabulary stretch. Confirmed becomes reported. Did becomes appeared to. Was becomes allegedly. That's not growth, that's legal instinct waking up and stretching. When certainty becomes risky, adjectives suddenly go on a diet. Reaction creators also hit a credibility checkpoint. The louder their early certainty, the more awkward their later flexibility. You'll see pivots, reframes, and the legendary move called retroactive nuance, where someone says, "What I meant was," after meaning something much louder. Yesterday, commentary gymnastics deserves its own medal ceremony at this point. Audience trust toward coverage culture takes a hit too. Viewers remember who exaggerated, who clipped irresponsibly, who added gasoline instead of context. Once audiences begin auditing narrators, the entire drama economy sweats. Because outrage works best when memory is short and screenshots have perfect memory. Another long-term effect is identity branding by controversy. When public arguments go viral repeatedly, they start attaching themselves to the personal brand like stubborn labels. Future headlines get framed faster. Interpretations get harsher sooner. Neutral ground disappears quicker. It becomes harder for any new moment to be judged fresh, it gets judged familiar. There's also the human toll factor, the part spectators rarely measure but always amplify. Public confrontations don't just create content, they create stress, legal exposure, relationship strain, and emotional fatigue. The crowd consumes episodes. The subjects absorb pressure. One side refreshes feeds. The other manages fallout. Not exactly equal participation. Meanwhile, the culture conversation grows louder in the background about why public relationship conflict keeps turning into entertainment programming. Why escalation earns clicks while resolution earns shrugs. Why apology videos get fewer views than argument clips. That discussion matters, but it competes with spectacle, and spectacle usually wins the ratings war. Escalation tolerance also shifts. What shocked viewers last year barely surprises them now. That's drama inflation. It takes bigger moments to create the same reaction. Louder clips, sharper words, higher stakes. Emotional markets get desensitized. Spectacle has to level up just to maintain attention. But here's the twist that keeps this saga from feeling finished. And resolved tension is oxygen for future headlines. As long as strong personalities, public platforms, and emotional history stay in the same orbit, flare-up probability never drops to zero. Not prediction pattern. And patterns keep audiences watching even when they claim they're done watching. Right now we're in the echo stage, reactions still bouncing, narratives still competing, certainty still pretending to be taller than it is. Some minds are locked, others are still processing. New clips could appear, new statements could drop, new angles could flip interpretations again. Digital stories rarely close, they reload, because in modern viral culture, closure is rare but sequels are undefeated. And if you think this chapter ended the saga, you haven't studied internet history long enough. Next headline already. Warming up backstage. And if you made it through this entire breakdown without dropping your phone, choking on your drink, or yelling "ain't no way" at least once, congratulations, you are officially built for high voltage internet drama. Because what we just unpacked wasn't just another viral argument clip, this was a full-scale timeline tremor with replay value, reaction value, and sequel potential baked right in. Now it's your turn to step into the ring, respectfully loud, of course. Who do you think got misread? Who got clipped out of context? Who handled it wrong? And who handled it worse? Drop your take in the comments and defend it like it's the final round and the judges are watching. This comment section is basically our digital jury box, and the verdict is always noisy. If this breakdown hit harder than most reaction videos and gave you the full drama map instead of just the loud fragments, smash that like button like it borrowed money and forgot your birthday. Subscribe like your curiosity has a notification bell attached, because here it does. Turn those alerts on so you don't show up late to the next scandal while everybody else is already arguing in 4K. We cover blowups, breakdowns, fallout, receipts, reversals, and the plot twists that make the internet sit up straight and spill its popcorn. New controversies drop here like surprise albums, zero warning, maximum replay. This is Fame Ripple, where viral moments don't just make noise, they make waves.